Hey, what is going on? We're here to check out, was Sanguinius actually the most powerful Primarch? It's actually crazy. The ADHD took me out. I was coming here to check out
G'day, guys and gals. Whether it be my
Tau Battlesuits Explained, because I'm interested in the Tau group. They're my second favorite faction besides the Orcs at this time. Not talking about who my favorite Primarchs or any of that stuff is. I just like what the Tau stand for the greater good, you know? But, I can always check out Tau Battlesuits Explained. But I know my Sanguinius fans.
G'day, guys and gals.
I just know Sanguinius is in the title, and y'all always come through for the homie Sanguinius. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to check him out. And the strongest. So I just feel like this is one of those videos that is always juicy to watch. You already know who my favorite Primarchs are, and that's just going to be that. Let's jump into it. I do take notes, so if you guys see me typing away, that's exactly what I'm doing. So let me just make sure I got my notes pulled up. That's not the right one. In order to have my stuff organized, I got it by date, fam. Holy smokes. Where is that? God, oh, you know what? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Nope, 522. This is it. No, it's right here, 525. No, it's 526. You're like, what is he doing? It was constant revisioning. It's 526. Okay, that's my most recent notes, man. So let me tell you what I do real quick. So while I'm writing things down, right, it'll be very disorganized. And then I'll run it through Chat GPT and I'll tell it to organize what I wrote and put it in the right sections. Like if I write something about orcs while I'm watching Sanguinius' video, it needs to be in the orc section. But I'm not going to go all up, so it'll just be messy here. I'll plug it through and then just run it. But y'all don't actually care. Y'all don't actually care. Let's check out
I know I've been
Sanguinius.
glazing our glorious Hawkboy pretty hard recently. G'day, guys and gal. I know I've been glazing our glorious Hawkboy pretty hard recently, but I won't apologize for it. Saying
Good.
he's dope and he died for our sins. If anything, the dude deserves more than just some glazing from a dumb piece of shit Aussie YouTuber, but that's all I can really give him. Warhammer lore more or less states that each Primarch was designed to have the same potential. It wasn't like one Primarch was supposed to be better than the rest. They just had different strengths and weaknesses, with some Primarchs embracing their strengths more than others, whilst other Primarchs' strength revolved much more around the killing side of things and less around the administration side of things.
Fair.
For example,
Shout out
Gilliam gets his
Rabute.
ass handed to him time and time
I
again
knew
in
it.
Primarch duels.
Gilliam.
He is often considered the most effective, feared, and respected of all the Primarchs due to his unrivaled ability to whip gigantic armies into shape and conquer everything with them. Case in point, G-Man could be considered both a top tier and bottom tier Primarch at the same time. However, did Sanguinius actually rise to become the most powerful of all the Primarchs? Sure, he was killed by Horus, but can we even consider Horus a Primarch by that point? Before we get started, this is it. The last 24 hours to pick up the Fallen Angel of Blood, and then it's gone for good. This is the most insane model we have ever produced.
Nah, that is
Amazing
insane.
Details, great proportions, top tier resin, and high-res 3D printers. It's so detailed and well modeled that you can literally see and paint the individual teeth of his mouth. This is the tabletop scale, by the way. Other features include the model having 3 head variants, a helmeted version for those that hate painting faces and want a warlike visage, a masked version showing off his angelic features, hiding a demonic face underneath, and then a full vampire face, which is my favorite. The model also comes in 4 different scales: tabletop scale for your wargaming, D&D, and tabletop RPG needs, the 75mm art scale for when you just like painting, and
I do gotta check out
the 1/12 statue scale,
a video explaining the game,
that this model has to offer,
the tabletop game.
The Insano 1/6 scale, a titanic collectible with only 10 being made. A lot of people are wondering if you could proxy this as a loyal Sanguinius, and I would say yes. Yes, the armor is more grimdark, but the Imperium is full of skulls and scary looking armor. The wings are still feathery, and the face mask version could easily be painted to make him look less demonic. This is it. If you're on the fence, then now's your last chance. To sweeten the deal, we're also bringing back our pre-painted Major Mini service, completely upgraded with new, better painters, and this service also includes the Fallen Angel of Blood. However, the slots for that are very, very limited, so you gotta get in quick. As an extra surprise, we have about
crazy.
Pre-painted Major Minis in our warehouse we're ready to sell. You can
Major
check out all
Minis.
the options in the link below.
Major Minis.
Your favorite minis there is painted in a scheme you like. As it's shipping from our warehouse, you can bundle them with unpainted Major Minis, like the Fallen Angel. Link for all of that will be below. Today we'll compare Sanguinius' feats of strength and power with that of his brothers to truly determine if the glorious Golden Hawkboy was indeed the most powerful Primarch.
Golden Hawkboy.
Let's get into it. Every Primarch excelled in different things, however not every Primarch truly embraced their strengths and reached their full potential. Corvus was the master of stealth. Dude could literally turn invisible, even mid-battle, which is horrifying to think about.
Yeah, that's my boy. Second
and he was also a wickedly
favorite.
powerful fighter and a master of guerrilla tactics. All of these aspects meant that the Raven Guard were the only legion who managed to escape the killing fields of Isstvan in some sizable degree. Lorgar was known to be the weakest warrior Primarch, however could inspire obscene amounts of loyalty and devotion and was actually quite a powerful psyker. However, he put too much faith in chaos and didn't appreciate how much of the heresy would revolve around Primarch jewels, so never truly unlocked his psychic ability. So he got dumpstered pretty hard and he is known as the bitch Primarch. Vulcan was defeated and killed many times, but his perpetual regeneration ability made him unstoppable, hence he could wear down any opponent and overcome them. Sanguinius' strengths were insanely synergistic and he embraced the shit out of them.
Synergistic.
He went through absolute hell during the heresy, quite literally, which greatly strengthened
Yeah, I
his
fought all those
power.
goddamn
That's another
demons.
important thing to consider. Primarchs all had so much potential, however that potential needed to be unlocked through great challenge. Sanguinius went from losing his first fight with Kabunda to treating Kabunda like some kind of annoying entree to the main meal fight that was Angron. If the Sanguinius was leading his legion during the Great Crusade had to fight the version of himself that defended Terra, it would be a short, one-sided fight. But let's get the full rundown of Sanguinius' abilities and strengths.
Yo, he has a spear and a sword? Who's this going to be?
Sanguinius had wings, which gave him an insane advantage. It allowed him to dive bomb onto the enemy leaders, slaughter them, and win battles via quite literal decapitation strikes. This made up for the fact that Sanguinius was a pretty shit-tier commander. Gilliman, Dawn, the Lion, Horus, Perturabo,
terrible commander.
Others were significantly more tactically gifted than Sanguinius was. The Blood Angel's strategy was always shock assault, brutal short-range engagements, relying on their melee prowess and shock tactics to break an enemy, while Sanguinius killed the enemy command structure. It was brutal, simple, and effective. That isn't to say the Blood Angels were hilarious retards like the World Eaters, and they did indeed employ some brilliant strategies, but command was not Sanguinius' strong suit, which he made up for with his wings and reckless dive bombing. Something Sanguinius was famous for, however, was his speed. He was so fast that even when severely wounded, exhausted, and fighting against Chaos demigod Horus, who by that point was more powerful than the Emperor, he still managed to dodge and evade a number of Horus's attacks.
Alright, guys, I gotta be completely honest with you. Lee always keeps it real, man. So, Corvax. Do I have it? Do I have it? Is this right? God dang it. Fulgrim. This is why I have these different versions. There it is. There it is. I wish it kept my numbers. I'll just do it with that later. But anyways, I had Conrad. I'm just going to do it while I'm talking. Fulgrim is number 3. Lorgar has been number 4. Okay. Then we have Lehman Rouse as number 5. Okay. Then we have Lemus. All right. So Sanguinius. Sanguinius keeps rising on my rankings. When I first had him, he was at a number 8. He was at number 8. I now have to move Sanguinius up to 5, replacing the homie Lehman Russ. Do I have his quote? Hold on. I have quotes that go with them. I think I did this wrong. Quote. Okay. All right. Yeah, every time I hear more about Sanguinius, I keep liking him more. But I'm making sure, you guys can say whatever you want about me, I'm making sure that I like him because I like him and not because the fandom told me I gotta like him. But that's so badass. And that is something I find relatable. That's why I paused it, and that's why he keeps moving up, right? Dang, I ain't gonna hold you. Dang, I don't even see Lorgar standing. But I'm gonna give it a couple more videos. He's gonna make his way to 3rd. Lorgar Fulgrim! Sanguinius is creeping up. But yeah, man, I'm not a strategist either. I feel like, no, I'm not gonna dive bomb it. I'm cautious. I'm gonna hit you from far away. But I like that he don't really command his people like that. Well, he just flies in, takes off your leader. All we gotta do is shock and awe, and Sanguinius is gonna take out their leadership. That is so simple, and I love it, man. Sanguinius, he's here with his wings. That's so cool.
With Horus being like, was more powerful and severe bombing. Something Sanguinius was famous.
They call it
strong retards like the World Eaters, and they did indeed employ some brilliant strategies. But command was not Sanguinius' strong suit, which he made up for with his wings and reckless dive bombing.
Reckless dive bombing. That's so cool.
Speed. He was so fast, and even
What
when
happens,
severely
what happens
wounded,
if you try to cut off
exhausted,
his
and
wings?
fighting against Chaos demigod Horus, who by that point was more powerful than the Emperor, he still managed to dodge and evade a number of Horus's attacks, with Horus being like, wait, what the fuck? Like, it should not have been possible to dodge those attacks, but he did it anyway. The only Primarch who could even remotely dream of matching Sanguinius' speed is the Khan, and that's a maybe. Sanguinius is fast and has wings, but was he actually a good warrior, or did he just rely on his speed and his Primarch abilities to rip through the enemy? Sanguinius was an absolute god-tier warrior. His skill and finesse combined with his wrath and brutality made him nearly unstoppable. All of this combined with his foresight meant that not only was he a better warrior, faster and could fly, but he could also foresee your every move. So he would—
God, he got that bird eye. Question. Yo, this video is fantastic. Does Sanguinius fly fast because of magic, or his wings beat fast? That's a very important thing, because when I'm tying him to the laws of physics, I'm like, he can only beat so fast, or are these wings like ridiculously fast? So when he flaps it, it's like boom. You know what I mean? Like, what dictates his speed? Is it powers, or is it through the strength of his wings? You know what I mean? Some people, like, that sounds ridiculous, but when you look up someone like Hot Girl or Hot Guy, right? Hawk Girl wings, right? They don't actually make her fly. It's the metal that is. In DC comics, Hawk Girl's wings are organic and a natural part of physiology. She is not a figure. Oh wait, I think they changed things. Hold on. Hawk Girl's wings, I mean, a powerful in the comics. Hawk Girl's wings are a key part of identity. I guess it depends, because sometimes it's this nth metal that makes you fly, but it's not because the wings actually do anything. But DC is written all over the place, so it depends who you talk to. So I'm just gonna give up.
rip through a battlefield, dodging and weaving through attacks that would never land, slicing and dicing. It was this incredible combination of strengths that allowed Sanguinius to hold the Eternity Gate against an endless tide of traitor legionnaires, Kabunda, and then Angron himself, who was literally the champion of chaos at that point. Like, the traitors were using him as an unstoppable battering ram, with all attempts to kill Angron failing miserable. There was even a scene where they shot Angron with 1,000 cannons at once, atomized him, and he just simply regenerated. In another scene, during Sanguinius' duel with Angron managed to grab Sanguinius' spear and he threw it at the angel. Sanguinius managed to catch the spear, twist it using its own momentum, and then throw it back.
That's badass.
Angron and genuinely stunning the Lord of the World Eaters with how fucking dope it was. You also cannot overstate just how powerful the power of foresight is. It's the sole reason why Conrad Kurz was so dangerous and managed to fend off both Guilliman and the Lion in a 2v1. Despite Conrad never actually being a duelist Primarch or learning genuine combat skills, he was just so spastic and could see the future that he didn't need to have finesse. Sanguinius, on the other hand, did, making him a god of war. He also knew that he would die fighting Horus, so he had no fear of death and would challenge fate all the time. The dude fucking took on an Imperator Titan, using his foresight to perfectly plan the attack, as if he misjudged it by a millisecond he would have gotten atomized. Sanguinius then became the only Primarch to solo an Imperator Titan, and win.
Well, you know when you're gonna die.
Remotely claim that. A Warhound Titan
this makes sense.
Gorga and Angron, and that is
I will not die today.
Titan. Meanwhile, Sangi takes out an Imperator. Sanguinius' strength was always tied to his resolve. Whenever he was full of doubt, he became weaker, indecisive, hesitant, and genuinely a worse warrior. He was heavily tested during his journey through the Ruinstorm by Mardale, aka Chaos Jesus. Sanguinius struggled against the demon as his mind was plagued with visions of his own death, his failure. However, when he eventually accepted his grim destiny, but also promised to defy it, shaking off his doubt, he became a beast, beating the fucking shit out of Mardale and becoming unstoppable. As I said, during the Siege of Terra, Angron was the mightiest of the demon Primarchs. All of them contributed in their own way. Mortarion created a plague of despair that even almost made Rogel give up. Fulgrim jerked off a lot and didn't actually really do much else, to be honest. But Angron, oh boy, he was a living, breathing battering ram, and the Loyalists couldn't do shit. It was even said that Angron was the only traitor Primarch other than Horus who could kill Sanguinius, as he was thrown at the Angel. Horus literally psychically begging Angron to slay Sanguinius. The fight was absolutely epic, but even the turbocharged Ultra Angron was not enough to take out our wounded Sanguinius, as Sangi ripped out the Butcher's nails and banished his brother, suffering a huge wound in the process as Angron did manage to stab him. Also shows just how strong Sanguinius was as well. You can't just throw down with Angron and rip his scalp off if you're a twink. Also, if you're
True.
questioning his durability, the dude literally ate a gigantic demon sword and sort of just managed to walk it off. So from all this, Sanguinius easily is more powerful than all the loyalist Primarchs. Yes, I know Vulcan cannot die permanently, but I reckon Sanguinius would manage to kill him, and then while he is regenerating, he would grab his body, fly up, and then throw him down a crevasse or something. As for the traitors, he was hesitant to fight Conrad
A
as the
crevice?
foresight showed either one of them could win. But this was also pre-Ruinstorm Super Sanguinius, and he also didn't have his armor on. He outclasses Fulgrim, Angron, Lorgar, Mortarion, Perturabo, and Alpharis in combat, as shown by him defeating Angron, the most martial demon Primarch. Magnus would be an interesting one. His psychic powers make him immensely powerful, but as shown by his fight against Leman, Gilliman, and even Vulcan, it isn't just an instant kill. Primarchs have this anti-warp aura where you can't just click your fingers and melt their brain. To kill a Primarch with psychic powers, you have to go full wizard on them, throwing fireballs and lightning and shit. You can't just cook them from the inside out like you can with mortals or even space marines. Sanguinius' speed and foresight would make the difference. Magnus would cast the spell, Sanguinius would foresee it, dodge it, and close with Magnus in a nanosecond. Then in melee combat, the Great Angel would decimate the Cyclops. Remember, Magnus nearly lost the duel to the Chapter Master of the Space Wolves, a normal space marine, because he fucking sucks at melee. That leaves us with the elephant in the room. Horus, the Primarch that actually killed Sanguinius. Does that just make this whole video redundant? Well, not necessarily if we look at the details.
He was tired by the time we got to him.
Spear of Telesto, with a huge unhealing wound from Angron, with damaged armor, exhausted from months of non-stop combat against legionnaires, titans, demons. All he had was spite and determination. He went up against a fresh Horus. Now, Horus wanted to corrupt Sanguinius, so he depowered himself into his normal Primarch form, which is still very powerful, for the fight, and guess what? Sanguinius actually won. He used all of his might and power to strike down his brother and defeat him. However, as he went for the killing blow, Horus released his chaos power, the power that made him a literal demigod of chaos, and even more powerful than the Emperor. Remember kids, the Emperor beat Horus due to bullshit hacks and dirty moves, not from raw power. In this form, Horus defeated Sanguinius easily and killed him. However, Sangi still impressed Horus by managing to dodge attacks that should have been undodgeable. So it really comes down to how you view it. Did Horus count as a Primarch when he was Turbo Chaos mode, or did he become something different entirely? If you don't count that as a Primarch, then a wounded Sanguinius managed to beat him in his fresh Primarch form. Thus, Sanguinius is clearly the most powerful Primarch. However, if you say that Horus, in his Uber Chaos form, is still classed as a Primarch, then Horus was without a doubt the most powerful. Think of it like this. If the Emperor became the Dark King and deleted Horus without issue, was the Emperor more powerful than Horus, or was the Dark King more powerful? Food for thought. Regardless of how you look at it, Sanguinius was an absolute beast. The combination of his speed, skill, and special abilities made him a juggernaut that could only be outclassed by the Emperor himself and a version of Horus that was borderline a chaos god. Not fucking bad if you ask me. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then pick up a Fallen Angel of Blood. There is only 24 hours left before he's gone. You can also get him pre-painted, or you can grab one of the few one-of-one pre-painted major minis available now. So many options. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
All right, looks like I'm going to expedite this one because this is way down my queue. But he said 24 hours. When did I start watching this? I already missed it. We already missed it. I was going to help him out. Not that I make much of a difference. But hey, who knows? You like to think that when you react to people's videos, it helps them. I keep the ads in there. All right. Yo, big thank you for checking out our video, guys. I am going to head out. I like Sanguinius way more, and I keep liking him more. And that is it. I really don't think Lorgar is going to hold it down against the homie. I got to check out more Lorgar stuff. It's also not fair. Like, for example, I'm missing something. Conrad is not second. I had to redo my whole list. Oh, this changes everything. Corvus is second. Conrad is third, which makes Fulgrim fourth. Which makes Lorgar 5. Now we're getting there. Okay. Yeah, what I was saying is if I know a lot about Conrad, but I don't know a lot about Sanguinius, it's easier to pick Conrad, right? Versus if I know a lot about Sanguinius, I don't know much about Lorgar, it's easy to pick up Sanguinius. What I don't like about Lorgar is I like his word bearers and I like certain stuff about him, but they kind of I'm comfortable with this. This is my current ranking. I gotta check out another Lorgar video later and then go from there. This is my current ranking, that's for sure. I know I can't get up the homie Conrad curse. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving up Korvax. I'm not giving up Rebute. I'm not giving up Fulgrim. Haha. So there we are, fam. Hey, look, man. I love almost all of them. There's actually like only one Primarch where I'm like mid. Nah, there's like two. There's actually like two. I ain't gonna lie. But the further I go down, the more obvious that will be. So, anyways, I like most of them. So I hope people don't take my ranking serious. Like I'm hating on you guys, this guy. I'll take the time to learn about them and keep going from there. They're all awesome and they all appeal to us in different ways. Sometimes it's all about delivery. Like you didn't really think much about them until he survived. And, oh my god, that's the most epic thing I've ever heard. That's my favorite. You see, it's things like that. Yo, this homie's stealth. Oh, he's like Batman. You know what I mean? He's like Batman, but he's good. He's like Batman, but he's stealthier. You know, like I'm trying to describe the difference between Conrad Kurz and Korvax is not that easy because they're both like, I don't know. Anyways, it all depends on what I hear, man, and it's a fun journey. So, hey, thanks for checking this out. Until the next video, you guys already know, I'm Yaboyrocklee. I'm out. As always, thanks for supporting this channel. If you don't know, we do have a Patreon, and it's free to join. You can stay updated, suggest content, or vote on polls. If you're interested in our uncut and early reactions to anime, K-drama, Western shows, and movie reactions, which include exclusive reactions not found on YouTube, you can join the upper tiers on Patreon, or you can stick with the edited content right here on YouTube. We got your boy Rock Lee reactions also in the description of this video. Until next time, I'm out.